Hello and welcome to the mathematics class. Now this class is for class 8 and today we will be discussing the third chapter, that is the square and square roots. So first of all we would discuss about what is the meaning of a square. What is a square number? So a square number is a number which when multiplied by itself, suppose I say what is a square number? Square number. What is a square number? Any number which is multiplied to itself gives a square of itself. Suppose I say 8 into 8, that is 8 square, it means 64. Suppose I say 0.2. 0.2 into 0.2 is equal to 0.2 square, and that is 0.04. A number multiplied to itself is the square of itself, and that gives the value. Suppose I say 3 upon 7 into 3 upon 7, that gives 3 upon 7 whole square, or that is 9 upon 49. So all these numbers are squares of any numbers. 64 is the square of 8, 0.04 is the square of 0.2, and 9 upon 49 is the square of 3 upon 7. Now I hope this would have been clear to you what is a square number. Now the next topic is perfect square. Perfect square. So perfect square. Now what is a perfect square? Any number, any natural number which can be written in the form of a square of any other natural number is known as perfect square. Let us take a natural number 64. This 64 can be written as the square of a natural number 8. It means 64 is a perfect square. Let us take as 25. Any number, any natural number which can be written as the form of square of any natural number is known as perfect square. So 25 is a perfect square. Why? Because it can be written as a square of a natural number 5. 64 can be written as a perfect square because it can be written in the form of natural number, it can be written in the square form of 8 square, and so on. So these are the perfect square. Now there are few properties of perfect square. Few properties are there of perfect square. First thing, you always need to remember that a perfect square is always positive. It cannot be negative. Nobody can say minus 25 is a perfect square or minus 9 is a perfect square. So first thing, what are the properties? First property of a perfect square is it is always positive, or you can say a perfect square number is never negative. Point number 1. Suppose I say minus 2 into minus 2, in any case you will be getting plus 4. You cannot have multiplication of two same numbers with same sign and finally you again get back a negative number. So these are not perfect squares. Means first property of the perfect square is a perfect square is never negative. Second property, a perfect square number will never end in 2, 3, 7 and 8. Never end. Why will they never end in 2, 3, 7, 8? Because 2 is not the square of any natural number. 3, 7 and 8 are not the square of any natural number. So a perfect square will never end in these digits. Suppose I say 92, not a perfect square. I say 73, not a perfect square. I say 77, not a perfect square. I say 88, not a perfect square. numbers which are ending in 2, 3, 7, 8 will never be a perfect square. Why? Because none of the square digits end in 2, 3, 7, 8. Third point, suppose a even number. So square of even number is again even. A square of even number will be even, and a square of odd number will be odd. Suppose you say 5 square, that is 5 is odd, square of 5 is 25, so that is again odd. You say 8 is even, 8 square is 64, so a square of an even number is always even and a square of odd number is always odd. Next property is that number of zeros at the end of a square number is always even. For example, you take 10. A square of 10 will be 100. A square of 100 will be 10,000. It means if the number is a square of any tens, it will end in even number of zeros. Suppose it is even 20 square is 400, 50 square is 2500, and so on. Means the number of zeros in a perfect square are always even. Next property is, okay, this we have discussed, square of even and odd and all, everything. Stop. Now the main important topic is, I hope you have learned the properties, you understood the properties of a square numbers. Now how to check whether a given number is a perfect square. Suppose I say 84. So 84, is 84 a perfect square? What are you going to do? You are going to factorize it. Suppose I take a very simple number, let's say 9. Is 9 a perfect square? The very basic thing, how we check it out, we factorize it by 5 factors. This is not going to divide with 2, this is going to divide with 3. So 3 is 9 and 3 1s are 3. It means 9 can be written as 3 into 3 and 3 into 3 is a pair. If the factors of a number can be written in pairs, it means yes, it is a perfect square. Now suppose in place of this I write 18, or I write, is 18 a perfect square? So this will be 2, 9, 3, 3, 3 and 1. So 18 can be written as 2 into 3 into 3. Now you can see that this 3 is in pairs but 2 is not in pairs. It means 18 is not a perfect square. Now the question comes, what should be, the question can be in these two forms also. What should be multiplied to 18 to make it a perfect square, or what should be, by which number should 18 be divided to make it a perfect square? Now suppose the question comes, by what should 18 be multiplied to make it a perfect square? You can see that 18 has a digit 2 which is not in pair. So if you, and the question asks, what should be multiplied? What should be multiplied? So if you multiply one more 2 in this, what you will get? You will get that 2 is also paired. So it means this is one pair and this is one pair. Therefore, this, whatever number is this, it becomes a perfect square. So that is 2 into 3, that is 6, means it will become, what are you going to do? 18 multiplied 2, that is 36, it becomes a perfect square. So what should be multiplied to 18 to make it a perfect square? We must multiply the number by 2 to make it a perfect square. Number 1. Now what should be divided, or by what number should 18 be divided to make it a perfect square? You can see that this number is alone. So in order to remove this number, you are going to divide it by 2. Very simple. So if you divide it by 2, what will be left? 2 and 2 will cancel and you will get 9 only. So 18 must be divided by 2 to make it a perfect square. Now I'll take few more questions based on this only. Now how to check whether a number is a perfect square or not? The first one, I hope you understood how to check. The very simple thing is we simply take prime factors. Let's take a number 1, 2, 9, 6. Check whether this is a perfect square or not. So first we'll start with the prime factors. 2 6, 2 4, 2 8, 2 3, 2 2, 2 4, 2 1, 2 6, 2 2, 2 8, 2 1. Now this is by 3. 3 2, 6, 7, 3 9, 27, 3 3, 9, 3 1, 3. Now 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So 1 2 9 6 can be written as 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. One pair, second, third, fourth. So is it a perfect square? You can see that all the digits that appear in the prime factorization of this number are in pairs. If all the digits are in pairs, it means yes, this is a perfect square, and its value will be, for one pair we write one number into second into 3 into 3. So 3 to the 9 to the 18 to the 36. It means this 1296 is the square of 36. 1296 is the square of 36. Now what is the square root? Next is, what is the square root, or what do you know about the square root? Suppose I say 3 upon 4 into 3 upon 4 is equal to 9 upon 16. So root of 9 upon 16 is 3 upon 4. It means root of this number n, or you can say 9 upon 16 is equal to 3 upon 4. Or I say 4 into 4 is equal to 16. It means root or square root of 16 is 4. So that is the square root. Now how do we find the square root? Basically there are two methods. One is by prime factorization, one is division method. So first of all we'll be discussing about the prime factorization method. It's finding the square root by prime factorization method. So in this I will be taking 2-3 type of questions. Let's take 12 whole 24 upon 15. Find the square root of this number. Find the square root of 12 whole 24 upon 15. Now 12 whole 24 upon 15 can be written as upon 25. Sorry, not 15 but 25. Now 25 into 12 will be 300. 300 plus 24 will be 324 upon 25. It means this 12 whole 24 upon 25 can be written in the form of 324 upon 25. Now you can find out the square root of 324 and 25 separately by prime factorization method. Suppose here I am writing 324. So 2 1s are 2 6s are 2 2s are. Again 2 8s are 2 1s are. 3 2s are 7s are. 3 9s are 3 3s are and 3 1s are. And for 25 it can be written as 5 times 5. So it means you can say that 324 can be written as 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So one pair, one pair, one pair. Final its root will be 2 into 3 into 3. For each pair we write one value. For these two we are writing 1 2. For these two 3s, we are writing 1 3. For these two 3s, we are writing 1 3. So 3 3 is 9 2 is 18. Means under root of 324 is 18. Under root of 324 is 18 and under root of 25 is simply 5. So its root will be 18 upon 5, or you can say 5 3 is 15, 3 upon 5. 15 and 18 upon 5, that is the final value. Now similarly, this question would have been, suppose I say this question would have been 0, find the square root of 0.0196. So what we would have done, we would have removed the decimal, increased 1 2 3 4 zeros. You can see 1 2 4 digits are there, so 4 zeros will be there. So now this number converts to 196 upon 10,000. You know that the square root of 10,000 is 100, and 196 you can find it out. 196, that is 2 9s are 18, 2 8 is 16, 2 49, 7 and 7. So it becomes 2 into 7, that is 14 upon 100 or 0.14. That is the final value. That is how we find out the square root of the decimal. It can be in decimal form, it can be in mixed fraction, it can be in a natural number form, anything. So the basic thing when we are going to find out the square root by prime factorization method, we prime factorize them. We try to factorize the given number and we try to find or make the factors in the pairs of 2. If they are in the pairs, it means they are a perfect square. If they are not in pairs, it means that they are not a perfect square. So that is all for today. We'll continue with the next class. So this was only one part, how to find out the square root by prime factorization method. Rest, the division method and the square root of decimals is still left. So that will be coming in the next part and that will be the concluding part. Please solve your questions, do your exercises, stay blessed and subscribe. Thank you.